Do you have a shooter over there? One male, actively shooting.
I copy, he is bleeding.
Is our suspect in custody?
There's people down.
I didn't know what was going on until I realized I was bleeding out on the floor.
Had you ever seen a gun on campus?
No, I've never seen a gun on campus until that night.
Are there any smells or sounds that you remember?
Screaming. I know there was a lot of commotion.
In that first blast of gunfire, junior Colin Brew is shot in the chest and in the shoulder, and Nick Puring is shot in the shoulder and the hip.
I could see Colin from where I was, and I was yelling 911, like someone call 911.
The parking lot where the shooting took place, there's a dormitory that overlooks it, and a lot of people had their windows open so they could hear what was happening.
So you are second floor up, second window in, right
yes.
there? Mm-hmm. Okay, I mean, that's as close as you can get. That's
yes.
within spitting distance.
The gunshots were pretty apparent. Like
Mikey Schollard, a sophomore at NAU, jumps from her bed and runs down to the parking lot into a crowd she doesn't know with bullets still flying.
You begin to see people on the ground here.
Yes, and the first person I see is Nick. He's laying here, and I'm like, where are you hit? And he's like, my shoulder, and I see his shirt, and he's got a pretty big bullet wound there, so I put my left palm on his shoulder.
What Mikey doesn't quite realize is that at this moment, the shooter is still on the scene, right behind her.
Before you know it, there's more gunshots. And
so you're literally administering first aid to somebody who'd been shot.
Yes.
And then you hear gunshots behind you.
And I hear gunshots again. I said, he's still shooting. Don't move. Don't scream.
That is when the two fraternity brothers, Nick Prado and Kyle Zintek, were hit.
Afterwards, I remember looking to my left, and the boys that I now know from the shooting were screaming, stop shooting, stop shooting. And I remember one saying, he dropped the gun, he dropped the gun. Before you knew it, we had officers on all of us with guns on our faces.
No subject armed with unknown firearm, code 3.
NAU police begin arriving with body cameras rolling.
So I got one here with a gunshot wound to the chest.
Every second of the aftermath caught on tape.
Check that kid right there!
6 or 4 multiple victims. I'm going to need at least 3 or 4 ambulances at least.
This video shows the chaos still unfolding. The young boys bleeding, lying shot on the ground. Mikey Schollard applying pressure to Nick Puring's wounds.
He hit.
And on the other side right there, a quick glimpse of a frantic 18-year-old on the ground, but this one is being handcuffed.
Turn around. On the ground. On the ground. Please go help them, officer, please. Please go help them, please. Please go help them. I have one detained. He identified himself as a shooter.
The hysterical student on that body cam is NAU freshman Stephen Jones. He'd only been on campus a few weeks.
Please, I'm so scared of my mom. Stand up. Is your name Stephen? Yes, sir. Have a seat. Oh, God. Just have a seat. Have a seat. Have a seat.
It's just a very, very raw moment, which obviously he probably doesn't know he's being recorded.
I have the suspect in the back of my car right there. Someone needs to stay with him. You identified yourself to me as the shooter.
Nobody else. None of my friends.
There's nobody else involved?
No, nobody but me. I take all the responsibility.
Okay. So you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can ever be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to the presence of...
Officers begin securing the scene, searching through the nearby dorm, and outside, paramedics work to save the 4 badly injured college students.
You know, I was just looking up into the sky, just, I think, screaming in pain.
What were you able to see?
I could just see Colin, like, in the rocks at that point, and just unconscious. I remember yelling at the paramedics to go help him. I guess there was nothing they could do for him, so.
20-year-old Colin Brew lay dead on the ground, while his 3 fraternity brothers are raced to the hospital with multiple gunshot wounds. But in the back of that squad car, the suspect, Stephen Jones, isn't acting like a deranged rampage shooter, more like a distraught kid.
Oh my God. How bad are they hurt?
I don't know yet.
Repeatedly begging for his mom.
I'm so scared. Can I call my mom?
We'll call your mom for you. We'll just got to figure all this stuff out first, okay? Stand by with me.
500 miles away in Colorado, another mother and father are about to get devastating news.
We really never talk about that day together.
Even to each other?
Mm-mm.
Our youngest, Doug, came down and he had gotten a text that there was a shooting at NAU. First thing I did was text him.
What time is this?
6:23 in the morning.
You remember the exact time of day?
I called the Flagstaff police, and they said NAU police were handling it. So I got to the NAU person that was handling it, and and she told me Colin had passed.
It was just like a bad dream, and I kept thinking, this isn't real. Like, this can't be.
And then what's your next move? Do you try to fly right away to Flagstaff?
You don't move. You don't move. Everything stops around you. Everything.
While Claudia and Doug Brew descend into a paralysis of pain, the community of Flagstaff is reeling, trying to understand how this could happen here and why. Did you know at the time that night that it was a student who had done the shooting?
I had no idea.
All right, come on out.
But it is a student. When he's led into a police interrogation room,
You can just have a seat over there in that chair.
cameras continue to roll. The college freshman with blood on his hands, literally.
That's fine. That's fine, Steven.
What happened tonight?
But was this terrified teenage gunman actually fighting for his own life? The story he tells police and the blurred lines between murder and self-defense. Up next.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.